I want to end the relationship dance with my girlfriend. Hi reader. I've been in a relationship for 2 years, and I'm at a crossroads, needing some outside perspectives. My girlfriend and I just went on to an all-inclusive resort and had an overall good time. We brought a card game that has a question on each card that's aimed at helping you get to know your partner. In playing this, I started to realize a few things about my relationship that have made me feel a bit hopeless about our long-term happiness. On top of this, I read a book about attachment theory and it really contextualized a lot of what we've been experiencing in what I'll call the relationship dance. Essentially the gist of it is, my partner is anxious and craves constant reassurance and affection. I tend to be more independent and I feel a bit smothered when we do everything together all the time. In the past she had a habit of calling me constantly when I was out with my friends or making me pick her up to see her at the end of the night and getting upset if this couldn't happen, for example, when we had been drinking. This always left me feeling guilty. Unfortunately, I probably appeased this before longer than I should have. Now, 2 years in, we live together. We see each other all the time obviously. But I find myself never really getting time alone. She doesn't have her own hobbies that she enjoys doing alone. She doesn't enjoy shopping alone, etc. She also doesn't have things she consistently does with friends. We've communicated about all of these issues and we're actually both in therapy. I've expressed interest in being more affectionate and she's expressed feelings of wanting to be more confident and independent. The issue is the relationship dance. Every time she pushes me with this need for heavy affection, I draw back because I eventually need space. When I need space, she gets anxious and urges herself to draw forward. This happens constantly and subconsciously. After the vacation, I really wonder if we should just end it instead of waiting around for therapy to perhaps turn us into versions of ourselves that might work out. This idea absolutely horrifies her and she gets extremely distraught if I don't reciprocate a promise of our future. It sucks because my partner and I share similar core values and life goals, but there's a persistent issue that's been troubling me. I've realized that what I'm seeking is a fundamental change in her personality or mine, which doesn't seem fair to either of us. I'm not sure it's possible or healthy to expect her to transform into someone she's not, just to fit my ideal. I'm also concerned about my happiness in the long term if I continue waiting for these changes. I'm at a point where I'm staying more out of hope for change, rather than being content with how things are. I'm considering a breakup, believing it might be healthier for both of us, but I'm torn. I'd appreciate any insights or advice from this community. Am I right to consider ending things, or is there a way we can work this out while staying true to ourselves? Comment. I think your instincts are right, and you should not try to make a situation work based on changing the other person. It only breeds resentment and self-abandonment, and no matter the good faith effort on your part, the problems will likely keep rearing their head in other forms. An ex once told me love isn't enough. It took me a few relationships more to really understand that. There has to be more to make a relationship work than just that two people love each other. Though it does seem like she has a particularly intense form of anxious attachment, that lack of compatibility doesn't mean either of you are bad people. It just means you both deserve finding people who mesh better with each of you. Hope this helps and hope the next period is easy for you both. Coming from a woman's perspective, she may feel blindsided and devastated, but it is temporary. In the long run, you would be allowing her to find someone that wants all of her. If it's not right, you aren't doing her any favors by prolonging the situation. With that said, be fair and gentle. Don't be cliché about it or say it's me, not you. Since you live together, be able to propose a plan to separate both in the short term and long. If that means you stay somewhere else until she can find another place or vice versa. It will hurt for both of you, but there's a lot you can do to mitigate the pain before having the difficult conversation. You are so right. Love is the thing that brings two people together, but there is a point when the rose-tinted glasses come off and you have to decide if you move forward or not. That is the point where you start to really love this person and put work into the relationship. That's when you really lay out the foundation for something lasting. You see the good things, you see their flaws, you work on compromises to make it work because you know this is the person you want to grow old with. A good relationship is hard work. But it's worth it. Life is too short to stay with someone contingent on a what if. It's really not very long and 25 is still young. As you continue to work on yourself, you will manifest a healthier energy that will inevitably draw a healthier person to you. Healthy boundaries, healthy intimacy take work, and it sounds like both of you guys needed each other to learn this. Same for your girlfriend. She will eventually also have that experience if she continues to work on herself. I feel you. In my opinion, the best time to do it is as soon as possible. If you wait too much longer, you will start to get comfortable and hopeful again, then the cycle will inevitably repeat. You said y'all live together. I don't know what country you're in and what your finances look like. But do you think the hassle of packing up, moving out, and finding a new place/living with someone else is another thing that's stopping you from breaking up ASAP? I think as I get older I realize I don't want to be in constantly waiting relationship, delusionally telling myself that it will be better when XYZ happens when in fact they will probably never happen. It's so hard to make that realization and act on it when you're in the situation yourself though. Story 2. My ex-girlfriend cheated on me with a younger guy. How do I recover from this? A year ago, my long-term girlfriend confessed that she had a one-night stand with a 21-year-old dude while we were still together. She was out at a bar and this confident young guy picked her up. My ex-GF is 37 years old but she looks a lot younger for her age, and she admitted in the past that she had a thing for younger guys, but I never imagined that she would ever cheat on me. She told me that the young guy ghosted her the next day, which made me feel even worse, because that implied to me that she may have continued to see him if not for that. I knew there was going back after that betrayal. We broke up shortly after and I went completely off the deep end, turned to alcohol abuse, lost my job, and I've been living off my savings since. Worst thing is that I hardly ever drank before this happened. I was just an occasional social drinker, but stuck all on my own with nothing but her betrayal replaying in my head. The only way to block out those intrusive thoughts was to get hammered. In the past few months, I've been gradually trying to rebuild my life, but this whole ordeal has badly scarred me. It's destroyed my self-esteem and wrecked my trust in others. Even if I do get back on my feet, I'm so insecure that I can't imagine dating again. How do I know the next woman won't cheat on me or prefer younger guys deep down? I've also developed a nasty habit of searching for adult videos that feature women my age sleeping with young boys and cuckolded men. Obviously, on some level, I felt extremely miserable while watching it, but after watching it clearly, I just felt weak and pathetic. After that, I felt even worse and worthless, leading me to go back to watching videos to punish myself. How do I break out of this toxic cycle? Do women my age desire younger men and it's just an unavoidable fact of life? Comment. I've been cheated on. It really with me for a while. I'm sorry that you're going through this. The best advice I have to offer is a little hard to hear, but it's honest and I hope it helps you. You are only hurting yourself by holding in all this resentment. Holding on to anger/resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person will die. It's okay to feel upset, but please, try to process it and move on. The problem you are facing right now is internal and fixable. Cases such as this are what make me believe that cheating should be punishable in some way. You are right to be feeling everything that you are feeling. Not all adults will desire people that are significantly younger than them, and most that do are, in my opinion, pathetic. I would suggest some sessions with a therapist because there is a lot to unload here and there will be the need for some personal facts to come to light. In any case, all is not lost, regardless of how hopeless it feels right now. This is essentially trauma. You have to address it and heal from it first, before you are able to move on. None of it was your fault. Also, limit the porn please. You are currently overthinking and being paranoid about it, yes, with good reason. You find yourself in this circumstance and your thoughts are overwhelmed by this possibility. I know hundreds of family members and friends that have been together for decades, all into their 50s and 60s. And remember, the successful couples are not going to be wasting their time on anything silly like social media and the internet. Most of what you see online will be biased, with real truths being hidden. If you are worried that younger guys will be able to beat you in terms of excitement and wow factor, then maybe that is actually something that you yourself think you should be working on. Plus, I will let you in on a little secret. Most women I know want older men, not younger. It's the men that want younger women most of the time. We could speak about this all night, but it's a very complex subject which goes into what men and women prioritize the most. Obviously I don't know you, but as I am absolutely sure none of this was your fault. Your girlfriend was most likely insecure about getting older. She was probably comparing herself to the slew of younger women on Instagram and thought it was an ego boost to be with some younger guy. I'm sure it really hurt when she found out he was only interested in a one-time round with her genitals. After I was cheated on, I too watched damaging porn related to the type of person my husband cheated with. I almost lost my job. I lost a big portion of 2 years digging out of the hole I was thrown in. It took almost 2 years, but eventually my partner helped me realize it was never my fault. Get therapy. Start exercising and focusing on your happiness. Be kind to yourself. Your ex was a crappy person who did a crappy thing. Don't let thoughts of her reasoning ruin your self-worth. Like, this kid is probably still on his parents' health insurance. Not hating on him, but most put together people in their 30s are not obsessing over 20-year-olds regardless of how Reddit makes it seem. I'd ask myself, what about her even makes her still important to me if I were you?